Welcome back, everyone, to the Wilkes Journal-Patriots High School Basketball Rundown presented by Cooks and produced by River Street Productions. I'm sports editor Zach Colburn, and assistant sports editor Brandon Marie will join us in just a minute to take a look at this week's Game of the Week. It was a busy week for Wilkes County teams last week as Tuesday saw a pair of inter-county matchups, and then East Wilkes and Wilkes Central capped off the week with another showdown on Friday night in Ronda. This week's Games of the Week, though, took place in Millers Creek. Brandon's got more on those games over at the big board.
That's right. East Wilkes traveled across town to Millers Creek to square off with the Blackhawks on Tuesday night, and they came away with a 65-44 win in Millers Creek. A lot of that had to do with those two players right there. Alexis Purdue and Tess Jolly had big games for the Cardinals. Purdue finished with 18 points, while Jolly had 11. While those were great performances, they were not as fantastic as West Wilkes' Elizabeth Huffman. She finished with a career-high 37 points. We're going to see her make a three right there. She had 4 of those in the game. She also made 4 two-point shots, and she made 17 of her 19 free throw attempts, finishing with that career high. Skylar McPherson added 4 points for the Blackhawks. Julia Harrison had 1 bucket for 2 points, and Haley Moore added the free throw to give the Blackhawks their 44 points on the night. A little more balance for the Cardinals on the other side. Alexis Purdue had team high 18 points. Tess Jolly had 11, like we said. Lauren Johnson made 3 threes for 9 points. Leah Nance added 8, and Lakin Mathis added 6. All right, in the nightcap, the boys followed suit as they knocked off the Blackhawks 54-49. It was close all the way into the closing minutes of the game, but the Cardinals forced 2 turnovers on consecutive possessions, and they turned into layups. That stretched a 1-point lead into a 5-point lead, and that ended up being the difference. That's one of those turnovers right there. Bryce Vestal got a hand in, then Joa Logan scooped it up and found Vestal up on the break. Both those guys had good games for the Cardinals, as they have so far this season been kind of the leading scorers. Logan had a phenomenal game, just like Elizabeth Huffman in the game before. He went 17 of 19 at the free throw line, and he had 34 points. Bryce Vestal made 2 3-pointers. We saw one of those just a minute ago. That 3-pointer from Cole Scabo right there cut the lead to 3, but they would not get any closer than that in the final minute of the game. Scabo finished the night with 7 points. Evan Shepard had 8 for the Blackhawks. Jesse Brown had 10, and Cole Smith led the way with 12 for the Cardinals. You see that scoreline there for Logan, a phenomenal night, 34 points. Trey Blevins made 3 3-pointers for 9 points. Bryce Vestal made 2. He had 8 points, and Brandon Church added a field goal for 2 points as well. Okay, that'll do it from Millers Creek on Tuesday night. Zach, back to you.
Thanks, Brandon. Out in Moravian Falls on Tuesday night, Wilkes Central boys picked up a 57-54 win, and the North Wilkes girls knocked off the Eagles 74-60. But the Lady Eagles turned things around on Friday as they earned their first conference win of the season at East Wilkes. Wilkes Central took care of the Cardinals, who were playing without Alexis Purdue, 45-35. In the boys' game, Wilkes Central improved to 3-0 in the MVAC with a 67-55 win against the Cardinals. All right, before we go, Brandon's going to take a quick look at the early conference season standings, and he's got the Play of the Week presented by River Street Productions ready to go with the big board.
All right, we're going to take a quick look now at the conference standings. We're through 2 weeks of conference play. On the girls' side, Ashe County still holding on to the lead. They're 3-1 so far. Allegheny, East Wilkes, and North Wilkes all at 2-1, Elkin at 2-2. On the boys' side, Allegheny and Wilkes Central are both still undefeated at 3-0. West Wilkes and Ashe County each have 2 wins as well. East, North, and Starmount with 1 win so far in conference play. Okay, let's take a look at that Play of the Week presented by River Street Productions. We're going to go to that game Friday night in Ronda. Wilkes Central, East Wilkes. There's Zach Shoemate for 2 emphatically all the way down after that rebound and outlet pass from Noah Johnson set him up for that. Zach just mentioned that was a 12-point win for Wilkes Central on Friday night. Okay, that's going to do it for me. Zach, send us home.
Okay, this has been the 3rd edition of the 2016 Wilkes Journal-Patriots High School Basketball Rundown presented by Cooks. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at WJP_sports to stay up to date on all things Wilkes County sports. Thanks for watching.